Hey, everybody, get out of that student union. Climb on into the lecture hall. Salem U is open, and we have a guest lecturer with us here. Remington Hoffman of Days of Our Lives is graciously giving us his time this morning. Hey, Remington, how's it going?
Hey Matt, how's it going,
It's,
man?
it's going
Thank you
good.
so much for having me, man. I'm so excited.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you here, too. And it's a gift for us and a gift for the people who are watching us live right now on YouTube because you're a busy man. You've made your
Thank you.
rounds on TV not once, but twice.
I'm doing my best.
You've
I'm
been
doing
around and
my
around. I
best.
mean, I,
Yeah.
I I pulled up the IMDb. I saw some work with Agents of Shield. You did a little Marvel project.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, yeah,
Was
yeah,
that
yeah.
was that
That
like
was
prosthetic CGI? You played some sort of alien in that, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Mastandar.
Okay.
Mastandar the alien. Yeah, yeah. He's the bounty hunter. Yeah, and they did full prosthetics on me and they painted my face blue and I had a mohawk and it was that was such a blast, man. That was the first time I'd worked on. I mean, it wasn't my first network show I worked on, but of that scale.
Yeah.
I mean, when you work on a show that's Marvel, it's really everything's just different. It's like you walk into the spaceship and it's a real spaceship, like a full, you can shoot from the outside, you can shoot inside. It's a real spaceship,
A
you know?
completely
So that
immersive
was really,
experience.
yeah, it's a fully immersive experience.
It
Yeah,
must be
yeah,
so
yeah. And
easy to
then
put yourself in
there's
that
other
world.
aliens walking around,
It must be so easy to
like
put
you're an
yourself in
alien,
that
there's other
world, man.
guys.
Because I think about it sometimes. Think about some people taking on these big fantasy projects, big Marvel projects, sci-fi projects, and being able to put your real world life into that fantasy setting and completely sell it. That immersive experience with the full set and the full makeup and everybody contributing in that way must really make it easy to access the fantasy.
I think so. Yeah, 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 I think
Yeah.
so. I mean, that was my experience. I mean, I was in two episodes and it was Marvel's Agents of Shield, the network show. So I don't know how like Chris Hemsworth and Mark Ruffalo
Right.
feel when they're like doing it up, because they do it for so long and such on such a big scale. But I think that you're right. Like when you're all in costume and everyone's in costume and you're inside this spaceship and it's a real working space. I mean, it doesn't fly, but like
Right.
it's not just it's not like an interior set where the outside is plaster and cardboard and
Right.
stuff. It like it works. The whole thing works, and buttons like work. Like you'll touch things, and the prop guy will be like, if you touch this, like it's gonna do this,
It's gonna do it.
And so I think that yeah, I think you're totally right. I think it works. It helps you enjoy being immersed in it. Yeah, I mean, it makes you feel like a little kid.
Oh man, yes.
Oh,
It's like
totally.
playing in Tomorrowland at Disney.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly like that. It's exactly like that. Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
Tomorrowland looks like yesterday land now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, no, it really, yeah, it does. It really it's exactly like that. Yeah, and then you're like in your costume and everything, and yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
it's
But
it's wonderful.
but you're from California, right? Am I correct about that?
Yeah, originally, yeah, yeah, I was born in California. I was born in Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz. Okay. Hey, that's tangent.
Hmm.
I'm a Bay Area native. I grew
Oh
up in
no
the East
way!
Bay
Where are you
myself.
from?
Yeah.
Oh, right on. I played basketball over like in Saratoga, growing
Okay.
up, San Jose, Saratoga area,
Oh,
and then a bunch of the guys that I hooped with, they were from the East Bay, and
okay.
from all those cities and towns over there. And so, yeah, man, that's a really beautiful part of the
I went to
country to
James
be
Logan
from.
High School in Union City, California.
Nice, right on, right on.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Santa Cruz though. Okay, that so
Yeah,
beach city.
yeah. Beach
Yeah.
city,
Okay.
surf
Santa
city,
Cruz
skate
Beach
city.
Boardwalk,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You're
yeah, yeah.
very,
summertime
you're very
concerts.
familiar. You know, they
Oh,
don't do
cool.
they don't do the concerts on the beach anymore, Remington. They stopped it.
Really?
Yeah, man, I used to go to that stuff. I was a big fan as a kid of this group from the Bay Area called Papa Do Run Run. They grew up in Cupertino and they did the last concert on the beach every year for decades. And I always
Totally.
went to it because I was a big fan of theirs, from when I was a kid. And I'm still friends with these guys and they're in their 70s now. But,
Oh
they
my
don't
gosh,
play anymore.
amazing.
But unfortunately, though, the concerts on the beach when COVID hit, concerts on the beach never came back, and they even tore down the grandstand on the beach. It's not even there anymore.
Really? I wonder if they're going to bring it
Yeah,
back eventually because that was a huge thing for
It
Santa
was.
Cruz. Well, we would go see the Drifters because they
Okay.
were from San Francisco.
yeah,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'd always go and see them. But that's really sad. Yeah. Because there was so many like beautiful Motown bands and things that would come through and play during the summer concerts.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was an annual event for our party because my mom's connection to the to Papa Do, who covered a lot of Beach Boys.
Oh,
Mhm.
right on.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I
So
saw them then. I
yeah, yeah.
saw them.
You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Beach Boys.
okay.
it sounds like the
Yeah,
chances
yeah.
of us actually being in attendance at the same time were kind of high.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. No, no, it's right. No, no, really. Like we probably were actually there around the same time. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then like the next, we go to the concert, and my two best girlfriends from high school, we were like the clique together, and we always did that. We stay on the beach at a hotel, and the next morning go out to Zelda's and have breakfast.
Oh my gosh, Zelda's. Yeah, Zelda's is great. Oh my gosh, yeah.
We're
That's a
filling in with
really cool
nostalgia.
thing to be able to do with your high school friends. And that's really cool that you stayed in contact with your high school friends. And that's like the pastime that you would go and you take time. I think that's really important to do is to like stay in contact with people and then take time to do something together and make it an event. Cause like as we get older and then you have kids, you have Matt and everything changes, it's harder and harder and harder, I think, to make time for those like super important social bonds. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and
Yeah.
Matt's the meat in the middle. He's got siblings on either side.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I
Cool. So
do.
you're okay, right
Yeah,
on. So
yeah. I got older
you're the
brother,
second
younger
born.
sister. They're both teachers.
Oh,
Well,
right on,
Yeah,
Matt. Are you
yeah.
close with your siblings at all?
Yeah,
Or no,
yeah,
not
yeah,
really.
yeah. We have a close knit family. We really got along and had a good experience growing up, and so because of that, we've been able to stay friends as adults as well. Probably even get along better now. Now that we're all old and gray, uh,
Really, right
versus before
on.
when we were kids trying to slam each other into walls. Uh,
yeah,
Second
when
born.
Matt and his brother were playing when they were kids, when they were big wrestling fans, and they were playing around in their room and jumping around and everything, and Steven broke Matt's arm on accident.
sure did. My older
Crazy.
brother broke my arm. I was in like the second
What
grade or
what
something.
what part of your arm? Which arm? What
It
part
was
of
a
your arm?
hairline fracture of the wrist here.
But
Oh man.
Yeah.
he had to have a cast to hear though.
Yeah, I had to have a whole arm cast, a complete right angle. And I don't know, I guess a lot of people had gotten injured at the time. And here I am, this little kid, and it's the 90s at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And I go there, get the examination. They say your arm's broken. We're gonna have to give you a cast, but we only have two colors left. You can have hot pink or purple. And I'm this little 8-year-old kid in
What did you pick?
1994, and I wound up picking purple over hot pink because it mattered to me when I was that young. Now I would go for the hot pink and it'd be super fun.
Total.
Uh,
No, totally, totally. No, 100%. No,
but in
100%.
the
Yeah, yeah,
second
yeah.
grade, it was like the biggest choice in the world. Do I go purple or hot pink? They don't have black. They don't have gray. They don't have blue. What
Yeah.
do I do?
That's so funny that they had run out of all of the. Well, it also goes to show that most likely there was more boys like cracking their arms than girls, I guess, because they were running out of all of the black and the blue, and they had pink and purple left. You know.
Right.
I
Um,
didn't think about that, but you're absolutely right.
but I healed
Yeah,
up. I'm fine.
I think it's probably true. Like, I probably young boys are probably more likely to like break bones, I
Right.
imagine. I mean, maybe it's different now. Like, I don't know. I follow some girls on YouTube that are
Mhm.
professional skateboarders, and they're freaking hardcore. And
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure they've broken up a ton of bones.
Well,
But when we
I
were
actually
growing up,
saw a
there
young
was less
lady do that
girls
yesterday.
skateboarding.
What was that, Ma?
Oh, what were you saying, Kat?
I said yesterday I actually saw a young lady doing some. She's going to be on the Olympic team, and she was doing skateboarding, and man, she was awesome.
Oh
She
yeah.
Yeah,
just
Oh
no.
yeah.
fancy, super flip
There
and
was a
everything.
young skater that won the Dancing with the Stars Juniors contest.
Oh, no
Some young
way.
skate. I can't remember her name now, but just as a little kid, just the most athletic, most agile, most talented person on the stage, and it's just this 11-year-old girl. So yeah, a ton
So
of talent, ton of
badass.
athletic ability.
That's so awesome. I love that so much. Well, I have a daughter. I have an 18-month-old daughter.
Hmm.
So if she's like into extreme sports and stuff like that, I'm definitely going to support her,
Oh yeah.
just hard charging
Oh
if
yeah.
she wants.
I actually read it. Is your daughter's name Una?
Yeah, Una Bay.
Yeah,
All right. All right. Well,
yeah, beautiful name.
congratulations. 18 months.
Thanks, you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
So
oh.
she's at the point now where she can walk and she can do her thing, but she
Totally.
doesn't really understand danger. So, she'll walk off the end of a pier.
Totally. Yeah. We have to be
Oh man,
super
it's kind of
careful.
scary at that
You have to
time,
be
isn't
really
it?
scary. Yeah, no, you have to be really, really on top. We were just at like she went to a 1 year old birthday yesterday, and it was at this restaurant, and there was an outdoor area, and there was like a little stage, and she loved like climbing up on it. but it's only a couple feet high, but at any time she would get close to the edge, she was had to learn. We had to teach her like, hey, you can't just walk right off the edge.
Okay.
So I totally know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
But she's pretty cautious. She's balanced. She likes to explore, but when she explores new things, she always does it really slowly and she's cautious. So that helps my anxiety, I think, a
that's going
little
to
bit.
help you as a
You
parent as
know?
she gets older too.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, yeah. But I don't know. I'm just here to support her, and whatever she wants to do is the way I see it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So how many years ago did you start on Days of Our Lives?
Oh, when did I first? Oh, it
Sure.
was in 2019.
2000. Okay, so
2019 is when I first worked on it. It was in the fall of 2019.
okay, fall of 2019.
Because I was part of the ABC showcase in 2019.
Okay.
And during the showcase, I auditioned for Days of Our Lives. And I had auditioned for I don't know if we talked about this at Day of Days and stuff, but I had auditioned for Marnie for almost 7 years before that.
Okay.
I had known Marnie and auditioned for different characters. And I auditioned for Paul Naritu on Days, and bombed that audition so badly. I thought she would never call me back. And then I auditioned for Lee, and I don't think he was even named Lee yet. And the sides were like mock sides, and it was for the web series where Chad goes to Paris.
Okay.
Chad
Chad and Abby in Paris or
Chad and
something.
Abby in Paris. Yeah, it was
Uh-huh.
for the web series. And then I did one episode of that, and that's when Billy Flynn was directing. He directed that episode, which was really cool.
Uh-huh.
And I met everyone. I went to Days, and it was super fun. And then they said that they might move me to the network show, and they did. And that was a huge. I didn't realize how big of a deal that was, but at the time, but now I know because I've been
Yeah.
working on the show for years. So I was really grateful that happened, and I did my first scenes with Camila with Gabby,
Mhm.
and I was basically just like for like 2 years, I think I was just coming in every once in a while, and I would either hire or fire people at Demera because that's when like EJ was there, and then yeah, and everyone was like always being hired and fired, and they were constantly fighting over Demera. So I was the guy coming in, hiring and firing because I was the newest member of the board because of my dad. He had put me
Right.
on the board of Demera. Um, and then it was in because I was telling my wife, I was like, oh, if they give me a love interest, then I'm gonna be able to really like be on the show. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Mhm.
And then they ended up having Lee and Gabby get together, and they got together, I think that was in the fall of 2021.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
is
right.
when yeah. Because like we worked through the pandemic. They were calling me back in through the pandemic 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I was also on the show in 2021. And then right towards the end of the fall of 2021, they had me, I think, kiss Gabby, and then Lee and Gabby have sex, and it was right before the new year. And I remember telling my wife, I was like, oh, I think that this is gonna be really good for Lee.
This is
And
great.
that's when I really started working on the show all through
Just
2022.
flipping
I was
through
on the
the
show a
script,
ton.
reading the pages, going, okay, so Lee's got a family. Okay, he's got a dad on the show. That's good. Okay, and he just needs a love interest. Love interest. Gabby. Yes, I'm in. I'm in.
Exactly. Exactly. And also Gabby's a legacy character. So
Yeah.
like being in a relationship with her was really like a big step for me. And it was really helpful to be working so much, especially with my new family on the way. Like that was when we got pregnant and all these things were happening. And
Yeah.
I got married. And so like, as an actor, having consistent work at all is just, I mean, a blessing doesn't even like begin to describe how fortunate it feels, I'd say. And so I felt really, really grateful to be on the show.
Yeah. So then a
Yeah.
soap opera is an extra blessing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the best. I mean, I just think it's probably one of the best acting jobs in LA. I haven't worked a ton of multicam because I hear multicam is really amazing, like in terms of like the job of an actor.
Yeah.
But the idea that like, they start every day 7 o'clock. You're rehearsing at 7:45. You're shooting at 8:45. There's 2 15-minute breaks, a lunch break. You're done by 6 every day, and it's 5 days a week. Friday, Saturdays and Sundays off.
It's a full
Shoots
time
all year
job.
long. It's like it's so
A
it's
regular
so
life.
great. It's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to have a regular life. It's really, really. I don't think people talk about. I don't know if people talk about it, but I feel like people don't talk about it enough because like, and then you hear about like Jason Bateman and his experience shooting Ozark. Do you guys like Ozark? Did you guys watch that on
Yeah.
I
Netflix?
watched all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I feel like Ozark's a really good example. Like, but on Smartless, they always make fun of Jason Bateman for like never being around, kind of like with his family and stuff, because he's, to shoot Ozark and to do that, it like we see the end product and it's this beautiful, amazing
Yeah.
show. But I feel like when you're an actor and you really think about what it's like, if you have a family, if you live in New York or LA, you have to move out. You're going to be out there for months and months and months. Like you might be living in a hotel, you know what I mean, for like
Yeah.
7 months, and it might be difficult to cook for yourself and like do all these like very basic things we don't think about, and then it's like, oh, do I get an apartment, do I stay in an Airbnb, like how do I actually do this, what's the best thing for me, and then your kids are in school, so to uproot your whole family and move out there and shoot this thing for 7 months, um it's like very complicated, the life experience I think a lot of actors go through. I mean,
Mhm.
it's a blessed
A lot of
job. It's like
personal
it's an
sacrifice.
it's an incredible job. It's not like I don't mean to be like complaining for other people,
Right.
but the blessing of being on a soap and the consistency of it,
Yeah.
it's amazing. It's like I think it's really not talked about enough. It's such an awesome job.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it makes total sense too. Somebody has to go out and film in just the Midwest in the middle of nowhere. Toronto, Canada. It's a big shooting. Look, it's like mini Hollywood, Canada,
Yeah, mini
Hollywood.
Hollywood, Canada, exactly.
Have you
Yeah.
been to Canada? Filmed anything
No,
up
I
there?
haven't been able to shoot. I was almost in Love Hard. It was a
Uh-huh.
Netflix movie. And that was shooting in Vancouver. And so I was excited. I was like right at the very end between me and this other guy. And I was excited to go up there and shoot in Vancouver, but I've never shot in Canada before. No, no. But my friend Duvall, who's on Satima with me, he's the lead. He's shot like one or two holiday movies up in Canada,
Okay.
and he has four sons, and so his wife like went up there with his four sons, just her, on the plane with four little kids,
Wow.
and
No.
made it to Canada. Like I was just, when I heard about that, I was like, dude, that's so crazy. Because I think he was up there for like a month or two or something, and they came up
Mhm.
for a few weeks to visit. And
Yeah.
so that's like, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like the experience of a lot of actors. If you're working, if
Hmm.
you're lucky enough to be working, you're traveling, and then you and your family have to like work out that. It's kind of like a professional athlete. Professional athletes, I think,
Yeah.
it's very similar lifestyle.
Yeah.
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 When we
Yeah.
were when we were at Days, we asked one panel, and I apologize, I don't remember his real name, but he plays EJ.
Oh yeah, yeah, Dan.
And
Okay.
Dan, yeah, and we asked that question, and his answer was exactly what you said, was I get to see my kids. I
Yeah,
actually get home and they're not in bed yet.
yeah,
It's wonderful.
yeah.
That's the beauty of this job, and the consistency, and of course being able to work, but not having to take off, not missing family events.
Yeah.
Wally Kurth had said he loves the fact that he can be on TV and also go to the mall. Like he gets to make
Totally.
his living on TV but also doesn't get swarmed like Elvis Presley when he goes out
Yes.
there. And so it's just like a perfect boyhood dream of being able to just pretend for a living but also live a real life.
Totally.
So
Totally.
Yes.
No, no, no. It's like I think you're 100% right about that. Yeah. Wally's really great. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Deidre though, like I went out to coffee with Deidre,
Hmm.
and people come up. People like notice
Yeah.
and come up and say hi and just be like, "Hey, I just wanted to say I've been, watching you since I was a little kid, and I just had to, and I saw you and I had to say hi." And they're super polite with her and stuff, but I know that she definitely deals with that, which is cool. Which is cool. Like I
Yeah.
think it's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you have your foot in the soap world. You have your foot in the Zatima world over on BET. So I mean, I think that the likelihood of somebody recognizing the face of Remington Hoffman is a little high. I would say
It's
high at
it's
the very
everyone.
least.
It's every once in a while. It happens every once in a while. It's really cool. It's really like it's really special when it
It
happens.
must be kind of humbling also at the same time. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So,
I definitely say so.
but you recently finished a new season of Zatima, recently, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you play a character named
in
Bryce, according to my notes.
yes,
And then
yes.
I did some Google searching, and I really can't tell, and please help me figure this out. Is Bryce in love with a man named Zach, or is that just a fan theory?
Yes. So Bryce is struggling with his, yeah, yeah, kind of like who does he love? Who's he attracted to? He
Okay.
has an attraction. So in the first season of Zatima, Bryce comes, so Zach is Zach's character, who's the lead of the show.
Mhm.
That's why it's called Zatima. It's based on Zach and Fatima.
It's a
And so
smash
that
name.
it's a smash
Yeah.
name, and it's a spin-off of Tyler Perry's Sisters.
Hmm.
And the audience had fallen in love with Zach and Fatima so much that he wanted to make a spin-off about Zach and Fatima. So Zach is out of prison. He's becoming successful. He's like making money for the first time. He's like getting his feet back in, and he makes really good friends with this guy named Bryce, who's a really good guy who I play. And so Bryce is like a savvy business investor and kind of takes Zach under his wing in terms of increasing his financial intelligence and like building up his self-esteem to be able to make good business moves in life. And they become really, really close. And Bryce is dating Angela, who is Fatima's friend. So not
Mm.
only did they become friends accidentally, Zach and Bryce, but it turns out that Zach's fiance, Fatima, or who becomes Zach's fiance, he proposes to her in the first season, who becomes Zach's fiance, is like best friends with Bryce's girlfriend.
Got it.
But at the very end of season one, Bryce goes in to kiss Zach because he starts catching feelings
Oh
for
no.
Zach. And so like Bryce likes to swing. That's what was revealed in season 2.
Got it.
Bryce likes to swing. He met guys and girls who like to have a good time and you know,
It's
enjoy.
nothing. It's just bonding.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
friendship.
It's just fun. It's just fun. And so I think, but Bryce is definitely very confused and conflicted about his sexuality.
Hmm.
And like, so yeah, there's a lot of fan theories. Is he gay? Is he bisexual? You know, what's going on with Bryce basically? Does he have feelings for Angela? It's like real feelings for Angela? Is he in love with Angela? Is he in love with Zach? Yeah. So
Well,
Or
there's a
just
lot.
have a very
Okay.
overactive libido. One of those.
Yes.
What is
Yeah,
it?
he's a
Is
very
it all of it?
overactive libido. Yeah, it's all of it. Yeah,
All of
it's
it.
all of it and everything.
It's all of it.
Yeah, and but I think it's really cool. I mean, I'm so happy to work with Mr. Perry, and I'm so happy
Yeah.
that Mr. Perry wrote such like a fun, dynamic character for me to play.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I was really like impressed with that he was writing this character into the show. I'm the only character on the only lead character on the show that's not African American.
Hmm.
So I think for him to cast me in his show to me is like very diverse and cool, and
Yeah.
to like include me in his world, the Tyler Perry universe.
Yeah.
I feel just so stoked. Yeah.
And what's the location you film that at? Do you have to leave for that?
Yeah. So I go to Atlanta and then I stay in Atlanta on Tyler Perry Studios, and we shoot on the Tyler Perry Studios lot in Atlanta,
So you know exactly what you're
Georgia.
talking about then when you were talking about having to spend a little bit of time away from the family to go shoot. You have experience
Yeah.
doing that. You have experience in both worlds, leaving and also getting this full-time 9 to 5 on a soap.
Dude, thank you, Matt. Thanks, man.
You
Yeah,
know?
no, it's like it's a great, like that's also again a really, I feel really fortunate, a great job because we shot the first season in 5 days. We shot 10 episodes 5 days.
Wow.
So it's kind of like a soap. They call
Yeah.
it, I think some fans call it a nighttime soap as opposed to a day soap.
Sure.
And it's shot differently. Like it's shot on location. It's shot with different cameras, so it looks different. But in terms of like the shooting protocol, it's really similar. And I think that's also what helped me book it, is
Mhm.
because in the first season of that, I auditioned on Thanksgiving Day. And I thought it was almost a joke. I was like, this isn't real because the whole industry shuts down for Thanksgiving. No one ever auditions on Thanksgiving. No one works Thanksgiving. So it's like I was like, this can't be really real. And so I sent in the tape like Thanksgiving Day or Friday after Thanksgiving. And I just did it at my parents' house with my phone. And then it was like Saturday or Sunday. Tyler Perry Studios was calling my manager and they were like, hey, I think we're gonna like move forward with Remington on this show, blah, 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 blah. And I had been shooting days, and so I had to let them know I was shooting days, and then days was really great, and they helped me work around it and
That's
everything.
awesome.
And yeah, and then I got my scripts like Friday. I was going on the plane, and I had 18 of them out of, or whatever, out of 10 of them. And then I got on the plane Friday night, and then I flew. It was like the next Friday, and then I flew, and then we were shooting on Monday. We shot Monday through Friday, and then it was over, and it was like whirlwind. And I came
Yeah,
back and got
that's
to
the
shoot.
word that came to my mind. That must have felt like a whirlwind. Like, whoa,
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
happening?
it was really crazy. Yeah, it was a really crazy time. And then so then we shot the next season. We got upgraded to 20 episodes for the next season of Zatima. So the second and third season is 20
And
episodes.
they give you
and we
8
shot
days for that.
Yeah, we got 8 working days for that, exactly. And then this last season was great. We got 10 days. Yeah,
Hey,
but we were there for 3 weeks, so it was awesome. We like
wow,
came in
I
on a
made up 8. I
Monday
was
or
right.
Tuesday.
You actually
Yeah,
got
you were
8
right.
days.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I thought you knew that somehow.
Look
Yeah, yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
That's
We got
funny.
we got 8 days. 8 days. Yeah, because Duvall's the lead, and he had a podcast tour scheduled,
uh-huh.
so we should have gotten 10 days, but they
He's like,
shortened
no,
it
I'm
to
too
8.
busy.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, hey, you guys got to make it shortened up, you know.
You named your show after
Um,
my character. I gotta, you gotta fit my schedule here.
totally, totally.
Well,
So
I'm sure that your experience on Days of Our Lives really was quite beneficial for you when you were doing that, trying to do those 10 episodes in 5 days. There was like, oh, heck for you. I can do this. But
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure
it
that
felt
some
comfortable.
actors that
Yeah.
haven't been in that kind of circumstances were like, oh boy, kind of feeling overwhelmed. But for you,
This is
no,
nothing.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I feel like I've been really I love working as an actor, and I love being able to shoot, and I love like my experience so far shooting a lot of really fast content.
Yeah.
And like having to memorize a lot of lines really fast and having to shoot really fast and not getting a lot of takes. I think it's been like the best first like series regular experiences for me. I just been really grateful.
Do you feel it helps with the authenticity of the performances, not repeating them over and over and over again 50 times before they come up with the final product?
I I don't know. I mean, everyone has different processes,
Hmm.
and so like my process has kind of become to try to do it like a play. Like I try to rehearse my stuff like 100 times.
Yep.
I mean, not an actually 100. Most likely, I don't read the script 100 times, um, but a lot. And I try to do it as many different ways as I can. I try to have the lines really just deep in, and then I try to do my good actor work and be have my homework done. Whatever that is. And then I think what I try to do, or what I attempt to do always, is to not do like what Sir Michael Caine says. He says that the rehearsal is the work, and the work is the relax.
Uh-huh.
So when you're rehearsing, you're working, and then when you're performing, you're relaxing. And that's what I shoot for.
Hmm.
If I could say anything, is to not do anything that I prepared and to do something different. And sometimes I think that I do, and sometimes I think that I can, do something that's over prepared, and it's like not as strong. But I think acting is kind of like sports. It's like basketball players. They shoot,
Yeah.
and sometimes they miss, and sometimes they make it, and sometimes they take a game winner and they miss it, and sometimes they take a game winner and they make it. And I think that it feels to me like the job really is to like take shots.
Yeah.
So I hope that I'm taking shots.
well, I know that you have a background from basketball, and I know that you went to college. I don't know if you had a scholarship for basketball, but I know that you did go to college, played ball in college.
Yeah.
Uh, so do you still have an opportunity? Do you still get on the court and just with your friends and your buddies and do that? I mean, I would think that, basketball is still really part of you.
Yeah, no, it definitely is.
Just out there with Drake,
I
just shooting hoops between scenes.
Yeah, just getting shots of with Drake. No, that'd be fun. No, I still play. I still play weekly. Like I play in different like different runs around like the west side of LA. And I
Well,
played with
that's
Adam.
awesome.
I play with Adam Sandler
Hey.
at the court that we play. He shows up sometimes, and I have some really funny and amazing Adam Sandler stories playing basketball with him. Um, and yeah, no, I still hoop. Like probably like once or twice a week. I try to get a good run in.
You can tell that
Oh,
Um,
he's
that's
a good
awesome.
basketball player. He calls it hooping. So,
yeah,
it's authentic.
yeah.
Well, I would, I think that it would be hard. You'd have to really make up your mind to make sure you had room for it in your life because you're a busy father,
Yeah.
a busy husband, you're working, you're acting. Um, it would be so easy just to say, I can't make time for it, or fellas, I can't come, or whatever. And then, before you know it, oh crap, I haven't been out there in 6 months. It could so easily happen. And that the fact that you're diligent and make it, that's awesome. It almost sounds like
Yeah.
even a way of therapy for you, just to,
Keep yourself zen and centered.
yeah,
You're 100% right. Yeah, I mean, I think like I don't think that my body stays in like really good shape naturally. Like I definitely have to I feel like I have to work like I have always worked really really hard to keep myself like I feel like fit or healthy. And I definitely build a lot of my life around exercise, and a lot of that is based on like how can I continue to play basketball, and play basketball to the best of my ability without getting injured. And for me to do that now at this age, like I have to kind of like what does my friend call it? He calls it like non-professional professional athletes, kind
Okay.
of something like that. So it's like, I'm like trying to get in a swim every week, like swim. I'm trying to get in like a jog. I'm trying to get in like a plyometric workout, like footwork and stuff like that, to keep my knees and my joints healthy.
Hmm.
I lift weights, and I try to lift functionally, and I follow a lot of YouTubers that teach different types of lifting and exercise routines. So I can continue to play basketball, because when you're over 30 and you want to continue to play a sport that's that taxing on your body, you have to keep your body in like really good shape so you don't hurt yourself, because people start dropping like flies. And guys get addicted to it. You get addicted to that like camaraderie and having a place to go to meet with
Yeah.
other men and to play basketball and have fun and to be able to forget about, for a little while. You're right, like very, it forces you to only focus on one thing, and you can't think about any other stresses in your life. I think that's really healthy. But I know guys get really addicted to it,
Yeah.
and they're playing street ball all the time, and they're not lifting weights, and they're not getting in the pool. And then boom, you just see guys dropping like flies, their knee injury, ankle injury, back injury, neck injury. And it's because it's like, dude, you're 42 years
Yeah.
old, like you're just not 17 anymore. You
You
got to
you
put
have
in
to
the
work
work.
out to work out. Okay, keep
You have
that
to
in mind.
work out to work out.
Well,
Yeah.
it's good to have
There,
two
yeah, yeah,
inspirations then, to stay healthy enough to play basketball, something you love. And also, you
yeah.
never know when you're gonna get a script where he steps out of the shower, you know?
Totally, totally. Well, I remember like I had a hernia, so I had to have surgery, and I wasn't able to work out for a really long time. And then I remember they had me doing shirtless scenes, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, and then I had a baby too, so I was like dadding and having a hernia and had surgery, and then like I'm getting these scripts, I'm supposed to be shirtless, and I couldn't work out, and I was kind of worried about it for a little while, but then I just thought, it's all good. Like if I look a little bit worse, like I just, what it really is sometimes I think there can be a lot of perfection in like our industry, or like in the social media space. And it's kind of like, oh, this is me at my peak,
Yes.
but we're not always at our peaks.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
just not the reality of being
That's actually
human.
something I've talked about on the podcast because there's body
Yeah.
pressure
Tell
in
me, tell me,
Hollywood.
tell me what you've talked about that. Because
Yeah, yeah. So
yeah, body pressure and all that.
body
Yeah,
pressure, all
absolutely.
of that. We've heard stories. We went to the General Hospital convention that they had in Los Angeles this year, and Josh Kelly, who's on General Hospital, mentioned getting notes that the network thought that he was a little too chunky and he needed to cut weight and all that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
So we've definitely heard about the pressure that exists in Hollywood to keep everything fit and together. But I also know that Channing Tatum spoke to something that you said as well, where he's like, when you see me on
Yeah.
screen, that is when I haven't eaten in 2 weeks. That is me completely dehydrated. I
Totally.
almost never actually look like this.
Yes.
And so just, wow. Just, oh my
I, t-
God.
I, t- I can't, but I can't agree with that more. Um, yeah, and like this idea that you're always going to look like that, and yeah, he's reaching for a peak performance, right?
Yeah.
So he like has a film, he probably has an idea of what week they're going to be shooting certain scenes where he's shirtless, and
Hmm.
he's prepping for a long period of time before that. He might even have like the ability to hire a chef, right? Or
Right.
someone who's cooking for him, so then he doesn't have to, like portion out his meals and even think about
Doesn't have to
what
do his
he's
own
eating.
macros.
Yeah, he doesn't, exactly. He doesn't have to do his own stuff, exactly.
Hmm.
And I think that like that's the thing, is like I'll go to the gym and I'll see people working out really, really, really hard. And I feel sometimes like it's like, oh, they might see someone on social media or on YouTube or in a movie or on television and think like, oh, I want to look like that. You know what I mean? But the amount of like infrastructure that goes around Channing Tatum looking like that, and also maybe his genetics, it's like it's a whole business around Channing Tatum's abs. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right. They're
And
insured,
yeah,
$50,000 each ab.
totally, totally, yeah, like for sure, right? Like, and so I think it's cool to have aspirations and to have a goal and to be looking at something and being like, that's what I want for my life, and to just be moving towards something, because to me, like we need that. We always need to be moving towards something. At least I feel better when I am. But at the same time, it's like the balance of like moving towards that goal, but not putting so much pressure on oneself, because even Channing Tatum saying like, I look like this for a peak amount of time, and as soon as I don't have to look like this, I don't.
I don't.
Because I heard that he loves sitting out on his porch and drinking beers.
Yeah.
Like that's his thing, you know what I mean? And I'm sure when he's sitting around on his porch, like eating fried food and drinking beer, he doesn't look like the Channing Tatum that we think of, you know?
Right.
Probably
Yeah.
a little
I
bit,
really
little bit of a dad bod occasionally.
Little dad.
Yeah. Totally.
There's nothing wrong with that. We're all real people. We're all real people, and I
Yeah.
think it's important for TV to show that as well.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with you. Yeah.
Because because there's so long between Days of Our Lives filming and Days of Our Lives airing. It's like 6 or 7 months.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
I think that I know. I don't know if I know the specific time that you're referring to, but there was a portion of time where Lee was hanging out on a couch, shirtless. This was a few weeks before he got stabbed by Gabby, or by whoever, I don't know, disappeared, died, never to be seen again. Maybe. Who knows what the
I don't
future
think
of
you're
Lee is? We're not going to find out today. But what I got from that though was look at Lee being a real person. This is Lee no longer constantly trying to kill people. This is Lee relaxing into his life, and I found that to be empowering, and I was happy to see it.
Whoa, dude, Matt, thank you for saying that. Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I remember shooting that scene, and that was exactly. So yeah, that was like full on dad, full on post hernia surgery, just like, and I remember being like, well, this is it. You know what I mean? Like this is me. Like, I got my shirt off and this is me. And like, this is happening, and Gabby's leaving me, and all this terrible things are happening to Lee. And kind of just like, I used to be a son of a billionaire. Now I'm living on the couch at my sister's house, and I appreciate
Yeah.
that you like felt that way about the character, because that is what I was like going for to portray that. So that's cool, man.
Yeah. I really enjoyed what they were doing with Lee on your it's hard to see. It's Days of Our Lives, okay? So characters constantly come back. It's very interesting to be in this pocket of Lee Shen right now, where technically he's dead on the show. Everybody in the world expects him to be back, but it's unconfirmed, and I don't expect you to tell me. So, like, using the correct like terminology versus like past tense and present tense is a little challenging.
Yeah, dude, I really thanks for saying that. People like expect him to come back on the show and everything. That's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's a lot left of Lee's story to tell, especially with the new facts about him that they introduced upon the exit of Lee Shen. It's like opening up a whole new chapter of this person that nobody ever knew anything about, that is just ripe for exploration and to add layers to this villainous character who needs to continue to be humanized.
Absolutely. That's really great. That's so, man, I really appreciate you saying that. I totally agree. I thought it was really cool that the writers wrote that with Marlene Evans and Lee, and talking about everything that had kind of happened and why he is the way he is. And what's funny is like the whole time, right, as an actor, you have to kind of make that stuff up because you don't know it. So it's not like a movie where that scene happens in the end, so you kind of know who the guy is and you're making these decisions based on this other information. But it was really funny also reading it and being like, oh, this is kind of what I always thought happened to Lee. Like, this is kind of the environment I felt like he grew up with. This is kind of like his relationship with his parents. This is kind of like why he's acting the way he's acting. My wife always says that men are like clams. Okay. They're open emotionally, and then they get their feelings hurt once, and then they close, and they never and they turn into little hard shells. And and I think that Lee's totally like a clam, like he seems like all evil and bad and heartless and unemotional and strategic, which he is because he's raised that way. But it all comes from kind of this like hurt and this like this big heartache that he has. And he's like, when he was younger, he was innocent, and then he lost his innocence, I think that that's so cool that they wrote that. I always loved
It
that.
is.
I
It is
always loved
cool.
those scenes.
From a viewer's standpoint, one, it makes me go, well, Lee's not done. Lee's coming back. And then the second part too is it adds more tragedy to the death of Lee if it is a permanent thing. That we find out all of this terrible stuff. He's starting to kind of recognize it about himself, make the beginning stages of working on that and getting past it, and then he dies. Like
Totally.
the tragedy of Lee Shin.
Totally. No, I totally agree with you. And I was thinking the same thing when I was reading the script. I was like, man, this is so awesome that like the whole arc of the character that I even got to play an arc. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That I like it was like a definitive arc. You know, I feel like that's what all actors want to do. They want to come in as like the villain, the heartless villain, and then right at the very end, you know, it's like, oh, this is all the heart of the guy and why he was the way he was, and it all makes sense. And he's like so vulnerable and open now, and he's really like turned a new leaf in his life. And right when that's happening, he goes. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's so yeah, it's
Ah.
yeah, it's
My
really like
my favorite
it's
part
exciting.
of Lee, I love the relationship that you had with Wendy. I thought it was beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
You know, I thought Victoria Grace was your baby sister, and you were so protective of her, and she's protective of you, and you guys really understand the history of each other, and you know what it was like to be raised in that controlled, domineering environment of your parents. You both lived it together, and you truly understand it in a way that no one else can.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
thought
appreciate that you saw that between Victoria and I. That's really
yeah,
Authentic
I thought
kind
sibling
compliment.
chemistry for sure.
yes, I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And the scenes that I've seen of Victoria just grieving you since your exit, so genuine, so believable, beautiful.
Yeah.
I love
Thank you.
Victoria. I
Thank
think
you for
she's
saying
great.
that. Yeah, she's great. She's so awesome. Yeah, I just love working with her. You know, I love working with everyone that I've worked with
Yeah.
on Days of Our Lives. Honestly. But yeah, working with Victoria was always so I don't know, it's like so easy. Like easygoing, you
It
know?
really came off
Maybe
as easy.
that's why that chemistry happened
Let's
on screen
see.
is because
Well,
it felt like that in real life, you know?
well, I think we can see it. I
Yeah.
think we see it on the screen. And this is what I think for Lee Shin. I don't think Lee Shin is dead.
Oh.
I think that his dad, somebody that somehow his dad was able to scoop him up and take him somewhere, maybe to Dr. Rolf, who knows, maybe back home to China. And this past week, Wendy called home and she wasn't feeling so bad because her mom said that things were a little bit better and your dad was feeling better. And he was, because they made it sound like he was going to die from grief of losing his
But now
son.
he's fine. He's okay.
Yes.
And
He got
now
over
he's
it.
a little better. So I thought, okay, that's because dad's got him.
Totally.
Dad's
Totally.
got him.
Time
Who knows?
Time will tell. We will
Time
see
will
how
tell.
the stories unfold in Salem.
And I want to see the elder Shin so badly because just from what you and Wendy have went through, I already can't stand him. And I've never
I figured it out. And Remington, you're going to love this. Okay. This is how we bring back Lee Shin. Okay. The original form, Lee Shin, dead. New Lee Shin is a clone of Lee from a
Yes.
skin cell. Okay.
From a skin cell Rolf, cloned Lee.
And that's how we're doing it. So, Ron, I think your name is. Just jot that down somewhere, Ron, and you get that going.
Gosh, that's such a great. That's both of those are really. I mean, both of those are really great, you guys.
Well, hey,
Really?
thanks. Oh, well,
Yeah.
thanks. We have a couple of
for
years
real.
speculating about soaps under our belts, so we're often wrong
Matthew and
though.
I just want to write for soap so bad.
Oh man, it would be super fun. I mean, what sort of? I mean, I think that it would be anybody's dream manifested to be able to write for a soap, especially a soap like Days of Our Lives, which leans into the camp and leans into the silly.
Have you written anything and sent it to them? Or anything
I
like
haven't
that?
written anything to send to them, no, but I did write a audio drama that's going to be produced this year. So I'm looking
No
forward to having
way.
that done. Low budget, low thing. I'm not making a buck off of it or anything, but I had a script and it's getting produced by somebody who liked it. So that'll be exciting.
Sweet. So that'll be an audio drama like on Spotify or Audible or something like that,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
can
yeah. So
listen
you'll be
to
able
it.
to
It's
find it
kind of like
on
it's like a
podcasting
story.
networks worldwide. And
Okay,
it's a
cool,
little short
man.
form. Each episode is only like, I want to say, like 4 to 8 pages long.
Oh, super.
Yeah, and there's like 8 to 10
Nice.
episodes or so, depending on how we all edit it out. It'll be 8 to 10 episodes. But yeah, it's just a little adventurous little soap opera, and
Gosh,
just
Hey,
well,
yeah,
if you want to write for
really
Days of Our
sure.
Lives, you should write some like ideas and stuff, and write out a script and send it to them
sure, I'll
and
do
see
that.
if they and see if they like, because yeah, and if you just let them know like, hey, I've been watching soaps and I do this podcast and I love it, and I just my dream is to write for a soap. I mean, yeah, I don't think it's too far
Hey,
fetched to just
I
send
mean,
it on over to them.
it's happened. It's happened for people. I don't know if you know Donnell Turner from General Hospital, but he's an actor over there on GH who, much like you, threw himself at the soap and threw himself at the soap and threw himself at the soap until one day they're like, "Hey, we got the role for you," and they brought him in. So
Really?
similar to you, auditioned and auditioned and auditioned until finally the character that you were meant to play this whole time gets written and they cast you for it. So, yeah.
I appreciate you saying that, man. Yeah, I was so happy to play Lee Shin
Yeah.
when I read it and stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, this is such an awesome character. He's such a badass,
Hey, Angela.
and
Our third Days
yeah.
for Dummies co-host has finally popped in here just as I
Oh,
was
cool.
preparing to thank you for being with us.
I'm so sorry, Remington. I just wanted to say
Hey,
hi.
Angela.
We had the horrible white stuff coming down here in Boston, and I was on the road and yeah,
Oh, my
racing to get home as safely as possible.
you're in Boston, right on. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So that's Angela. She's actually the Days of Our Lives expert that we have with us every week here on Days for Dummies. So Ma and I, we're only about 4 to 6 months deep into
Mhm.
Days. Angela's been watching for decades, so she is just loaded up with the history and knows exactly who these people are why they're related to each other, who
Well,
hates
Angela
who.
knows a lot more than I do. That's for sure.
So we're in the auditorium listening to her lecture. She is the expert. She's our professor.
Yes, Professor Angela.
How did you all meet each other?
Twitter, really.
I mean,
Well,
I know, I know how you and your mom
mom,
know each
of
other,
course, is my
obviously.
mom. So I've known her since before I even have memories.
I write for Soap Opera News, and we all started chatting, and Matt writes a little bit for us as well, and we,
I go on Twitter, and when I tweet, I tweet fairly and I tweet intelligently, and that caught the attention of soapoperanews.net, and they were interested in my perspective and point of view when it comes to writing some articles. So every week I write about who's the best dressed, and every once in a while I get to write about who the best performer is for the week, as decided by a group of people who work for Soap Opera News. And there's also a second website, tventertainmentnews.com, that we like to plug as well, which is also, daytime and entertainment related. And we're trying to expand that brand as well.
Yes.
Right on, you guys. That's so cool.
Yeah, so, we're trying. We're here on the low rungs, crawling up to the top. So thank you for giving, legitimizing us with your time.
Oh,
Yes,
for
we're
sure,
on the
of course.
bottom rung still, and our bodies are just waving in the wind. Trying.
And I'm going to be reaching out to you on behalf of Soap Opera News for an interview as well, Mr. Hoffman, because I'm a huge Lee Shin fan. Huge.
There are so many Lee Shin fans out there, really. Like, if you ever sitting there laying in bed at night wondering if anybody cares, go to sleep soundly knowing that people do.
Yes.
And nobody wants you to be dead. Nobody wants you to be dead.
Nobody.
We're all expecting you to wake up on some submarine somewhere and be back in just a couple of weeks. So.
Gosh, that's so awesome, you guys. Like, that really means a lot to me, Matt. Thank you for saying that, all of you.
The live chat
it's really
backs it up
kind,
too.
really kind.
To just read some quotes here. Leanne says, "I appreciate you and enjoy how genuinely engaged you've been this entire time." Says Leanne. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you, Leanne.
Yeah. Melissa, one of our longtime chat members, wants to know if you're looking forward to dressing up Una in a little basketball outfit and taking her out to the court one day.
Oh, totally. I haven't put her in a basketball outfit yet, but I do take her to the court. So I would take her to the YMCA early in the morning before anyone gets there, and then I would shoot And then when I miss, she would go over and she gets the ball and she brings it to me, and then I take it and then I shoot again, and then she kind of
Aw.
follows the ball around and everything. She knows the word ball. That's one of her first
Oh,
words that she
nice.
knows. Yeah, so because it's
Well,
the
enjoy
same in
that,
Swedish
'cause-
as it is in English.
Eventually she'll mock you.
Yeah,
Listen.
Yeah.
So enjoy the
well, she already mocks me. She mocks the way I laugh. So like I sometimes have a big laugh, you know, in life. And all of a sudden she was walking through the house one day and she was like, and everyone was like, where did she get this fake weird laugh that she's doing, you know? And then all of a sudden I looked at her, I was like, oh my gosh, she's doing me. She's impersonating me. Yeah, she's impersonating me. So she's already like making fun of me, and
yeah,
you know,
it just goes.
You know,
I have grown children, so I'm telling you, it's just all downhill. It's just, and then it goes back up once they're like, you know, realized, you know, paying bills and, you know,
when they're 28 years old,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
then they come back and thank you for everything you did for them.
Yes,
somewhere,
exactly.
somewhere between
Maybe they'll start a
when
podcast
she's
with you.
between 13 and 15, you will suddenly be a brainless wonder. It's a wonder you can even make a sentence. And then when she's about 24, 25, 26, she will suddenly remember what a genius you are.
Yes.
Coming to you for
What a
everything.
valued opinion you have.
Yes.
But those
I
years in between,
well, you know, I don't know if I'm the sharpest tool in the shed, so I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't think I know what I'm talking about. I don't think I know what I'm talking about sometimes, so you know, I wouldn't blame her. I'd be like, yeah, you're probably right. You probably know better than I.
Just prepare for that 8-year-old
Yeah.
eye roll where she just gives you the, okay, Dad, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
yeah.
I got to make sure that I have integrity. You know, that's what I think that's going to be
Absolutely.
difficult.
Mhm.
Like if I tell her this happens, we go get ice cream, or you know, this like an example that
Mhm.
I have to do that. I can't tell her we do this and then I make up some excuse that I can't go get ice cream because of blah 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 blah. Because that to me seems like it's going to be probably the most challenging and one of the most important parts of like what you were
Absolutely.
saying, Matt, like that 8-year-old time that like I have integrity to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that I don't just kind of blurt things out. Oh yeah, I'll be there for this thing, you know, and then I'm not there.
Hey, I can tell you from personal
Although,
experience, having parents
if I
with
can give
integrity
you,
is the way to go.
if I
Thank
can
you,
give you, you are right about having integrity that way. However, parenting pro tip, teach her now that when the ice cream truck is playing music, it means they're out of ice cream.
Oh, nice.
I'm telling you.
Nice.
When the ice cream truck is playing music, it means they're out of ice cream. Lie, that's okay to tell them.
Yeah, well, too much ice cream isn't good for them anyways. So you know what I mean.
Exactly. Or
Yeah.
you just fill her up with ice
My
cream so she
children
gets sick every
believed
time
that
she eats it.
And
She don't want it
a
anymore.
long time.
That's so funny.
Oh my
Those
God.
lies are okay to tell them. It's
Oh
like
my
telling them about Santa Claus. You know, you tell them there's a Santa. It's the same kind of lie. It's a good one.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's a good one. Yeah.
Yes.
We don't know who watches this. Anyway.
I know. I know. I just ruined some child's childhood. Thanks, Angela. We're going to get emails, Matt. We're going to get
Oh
emails.
my goodness. Please don't email me. Email Angela. You can find her on Twitter you know, Brooklyn74 specifically. That'll be
Yep,
Angela.
you guys can come after me for that one.
Yeah, the name's down there at the bottom of the screen. Just go ahead. And,
Matt doesn't need to catch
send
the
letters
straight
that
for this
way,
one.
not to hear
Yeah.
the 10th Floor Podcast Network. Well, thank you very much, Remington, for giving us an hour of your time. I
For sure,
appreciate
you guys.
carving out this section of your day to come talk to us. Great. This was probably one of my favorite conversations I've had on the podcast so far. So thank you so much.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Matt. Thank you.
I can't wait to go back
everyone.
and watch it.
Yeah.
It's all right.
No,
Angela.
thank you all for
Stretch yourself.
inviting me. And Matt, thanks for making sure to set this up and like you know, working with my time schedule too. That was really kind.
You're
And
super busy,
yeah.
man. I mean, I'm looking forward to catching up with Zatima. So I'm gonna pick that up and I'm gonna watch it episode for episode, and then I'll be ready for season 3 when that drops. And you know, Days of Our Lives has been super fun. I really hope that we get to see you back on the show. I'm just going to move forward with the assumption that we will, and I hope that manifests into good things for you in the future.
Hey, I really appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you.
problem, no problem.
We need more
Yeah.
Melinda and Lee, and we need to meet Lee's old girlfriend that his father ran off.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And his
Yes.
secret son that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
The child that's been hid
Yes.
away.
Exactly. Just as Melinda and Lee work things out and are happy and are good, then the ex shows up.
But you know,
Yeah, but Lee
I
Shin
loved
deserves much
working
better
with.
than Melinda Trask. Melinda Trask is not good enough for Lee Shin.
oh boy.
She's not.
Oh boy, oh boy. Well, according to the chat as well, you know, we also covered General Hospital, and the fans of GH would be happy to have you on that show too. So if
Mhm.
not Days, you know, call Mark Teschner and go on that show then, I guess.
Hey, thank you, man. Thank
They
you.
need
Yeah,
hospital
yeah.
staff. Yes, they need hospital. You could be a
she could-
doctor.
She could be Selena Wu's nephew.
Oh, there you
He-
go.
Oh,
Look at
she
that.
could. Yeah, it could be a mobster.
Yeah.
It's
I
not too
auditioned
much
for
of a
General
departure from Lee
Hospital
Shin.
actually before. Yeah.
What role do you know?
What?
I don't remember what role, because I don't think it was a recurring role, and it was a doctor.
Mhm.
So it was like, it wasn't like a series regular. It was like he was going to be in a couple episodes, but then gone, I guess. I just remember the casting office, and I remember the casting director super kind and nice, and it was
Mhm.
very like clean and welcoming, a clean and welcoming office.
Oh, that's
Because
awesome.
back when we like for actors, back when we used to audition in person, you could feel all the different offices, and I remember what it would feel like going on to like the Warner Brothers lot or the Disney lot or the ABC lot or General Hospital or Days, and all these different casting offices and how they feel. And they all feel so different. And I remember General Hospital was really cool. It's really, really
Oh,
nice.
that's
Really,
awesome.
yeah, really like nice office, really clean, really everyone was really kind and welcoming. And the casting director was super, super cool and really felt like they wanted you to do well, you know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So
Mark
Hey,
I mean,
Teschner
it's
is
why it's probably why General
genius.
Hospital is so successful. Obviously,
yeah, I
you
mean,
know,
everybody
60
wants to put on
years.
the best show, right?
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so before we fall into yet another topic, thank you very much, Remington.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys.
And look
Awesome.
for me to reach out as well for soap opera news. I can't wait. Hopefully, we can set up a time to us talk for
I'll remind him.
an interview.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm open. Yeah, let me know.
Awesome.
Contact
Sweet.
me.
Okay.
And thanks again. Thanks again for having me on the show.
Yeah, thank you
everyone. Thank you guys.
for coming. So yeah, again, everybody, keep your eyes open for Zatima season 3 coming out, and you know, go get some Peacock and watch some reruns, because you'll be able to see some classic Lee Shin moments on the Peacock library.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I
so-
wanted to say that everyone who's been listening, the fans, like, thank you for, tuning in and listening and everything. And we appreciate the fans so much. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate the fans. Everything that helps the, days. It's really
Mhm.
appreciated by the whole cast and producers and everyone. Seriously.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't go unnoticed, your passion for soaps. So keep it up, folks.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
have,
thank you.
have a
Thank
great
you.
weekend.
You too. Thank you so
too.
much. Take care.
Thanks again for having me on the show. Take care.
Bye, Remington.
Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, and then I guess this will be the sign out. Well, thanks for joining us. We had a great time talking to Remington Hoffman for the last hour. The easiest conversation that I think we've had with anybody on the podcast so far. Even easier than talking to Vincent Irizarry.
Well, we didn't have to say anything with Vincent at all.
That made it even easier because it was a very one side. No hate. It was very one side. A lot of really great detailed information coming from Vincent with a little prompting. But this was back and forth. I feel like we made a connection. I feel like I'm friends with Remington Hoffman. Everybody.
Pretty cool friend to have.
Yes. Well, thanks for popping in here at the last second, Angela. I'm sorry that you missed most of it, but
I'm
know,
so sad.
it is what it is. I mean, this isn't the first time we'll have somebody on Days for Dummies,
I know.
No, leave it
I
alone.
know.
and I'm sure
Well.
we'll have him back too.
I think so.
Yep.
Thank
Second,
you,
we
Janet.
start hearing Lee being mentioned a lot.
Yeah.
When we start hearing, yes, Lee, and then we'll invite him back when Lee is officially resurrected.
Yes.
So we'll see how that goes. So hey, folks, I'm gonna click the off button. Ma and I, we're gonna be back in, I don't know, what do you say, 15 minutes?
Let's do 20.
20 minutes? We'll be back
Yeah.
20 minutes. We'll get into some GH chatter. I'm sure it won't be super long, but we'll be back for the 10th floor in about 20.
Yep.
So come back at noon, essentially.
Sounds good.
All right, folks. We'll see you then. Thanks, Angela. Thanks, Ma. And we'll catch you next time, next week here on Days for Dummies.